Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Fantasy Football Expo exhibitor interviews. That's Dennis Roy from Dawghouse Fantasy. He's been to the Fantasy Football Expo more times than you know. You may remember his face, but now he's coming in as exhibitor, and he's coming up next. We're here to talk about Fantasy Football Expo, and one of our favorite people who has come for a number of years as a fan, but coming as his first year as a content creator, Mr. Dennis Roy, Dawghouse Fantasy Football. That's dawghouseff.com. Dennis, welcome to the show. Always great to see you, buddy. Thanks again for being an exhibitor this year. Really excited about your new site. Tell everybody where you're from. Obviously, you're Dennis Roy, but where are you from? Where are you calling from? And then we'll kind of take it from there.
Uh, Dennis Roy from Kenosha, Wisconsin, little town of about 100,000 people, southeastern Wisconsin, just south of Milwaukee. Enjoying the life, in between the two large cities, man, Milwaukee and Chicago,
There you
living the
go.
dream.
You got your Brewers hat on. You're ready to go for baseball season, which is either here or around the corner. It's very close. I know that.
It's
Um,
somewhere.
it's somewhere. They're playing somewhere. It might be Japan, it may be like LA. We don't know yet, but it is time. So, Dennis, again, I know you've been a member of the group here, a fan of the Fantasy Football Expo, but let's take some way back steps here to when this all started for you. When did the fantasy football bug bite you and pull you into this obsession, addiction, whatever you want to call it, that has hooked you now for many, many years? When did you start playing? Who got you into fantasy football? And talk about that humble beginning for you.
Man, I'm an old dog, so I
I'm with
started. I want to say it was about 1998. It
you. Okay.
was just before Yahoo actually started getting into where you could do everything online. So
Mm.
our first year, we got into a league with a bunch of people from work and stuff, and our commissioner did it all, stats through the newspaper for that one year, and then we were like, this is ridiculous. And Yahoo luckily just like happened to come about, and we're just like, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you, football
exactly.
gods.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, when people ask me, like, when did, because I've started even further back, 1985, and people always ask me, like, when did fantasy football just become massive? And I said, when the internet could keep track of stats. I mean,
Right.
realistically, because doing it by hand was not fun, but you did it for the love of the game, and to get it done as a commissioner, if you were the commissioner, which I usually always was. But yeah, when that whole internet thing, Yahoo and all those sites came to our rescue to keep track of our scores, and now what, we get instant gratification every time
Yep.
there's a score on our phone. How times have changed for sure, but yeah, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So super. So all that, you obviously been playing for quite a while. You've had many, many years, many, many, things that you've learned. How did you take that knowledge and now have created this Dawghouse Fantasy Football? Tell us about the site. Tell us what you guys, are really focused on there. How people, can find you, subscribe, all that kind of great stuff.
Yeah, so 2016 is when I really started kind of writing. Not even professionally. I mean, it
Mhm.
was something of interest. Started getting into like DFS the year before, and that's what really kind of piqued more of my interest of trying to look into the stats, trying to decide what players to use based on salary and performance and who they were going against. So I had circumstances in 2016 where I kind of needed something to take my mind off of that, and so I, I was subscribed to Scout Fantasy at that time, and basically was in you know the uh, the forums, and just kind of basically kind of created like my own like little site, like little like write ups and stuff
Nice.
on that, and then that transferred into full time fantasy, and I did it there. I continued to do it
I was just
there.
say I would say that was Scott Atkins' group, right?
Yep.
Before Scout?
Yep.
Yeah, where and
Yeah.
then
Scott
became
Scott
full-time.
was really great during that time
Yeah,
too.
super guy.
Allowed to do that. And then a buddy of mine, Steve Renner, kind of branched off. He was doing a whole bunch of stuff for DFS for all different kinds of sports, and he gave me another platform to really kind of just continue writing and stuff. Um, but it wasn't until last year where I actually, said, "Hey, I'm kind of ready to do my own thing," and I've talked to a couple of guys, Bob Harris, who's been great.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The whole process, he's just a great guy in general.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Uh, Basically, kind of showing off to Jeff Mans from Elite, and Jeff was even just like, "Look, the stuff that you're doing over in there, you're ready to start doing your own thing on
Mhm.
there." So took the jump off the cliff last year, bought a site and went through everything on, basically how to start, a website, a business type thing with the permits and all licenses and stuff.
Mhm.
And here I am now in year two. Um,
Awesome. So how did year 1 go for you? I know sometimes it's not always like overwhelming success, but did you feel comfortable that, you made a good impact, good start?
uh, I mean, it's a humbling experience when you really do it, because
Right.
I was doing a lot of subscriber type
Mhm.
stuff
Mhm.
through email, basically sending out everything, so everybody was getting it for free. So now when you're putting a number on it,
Mhm.
um, there's sometimes a huge fall off, and that's kind of what I went through.
Sure.
And the site didn't it wasn't profitable. Let's just say that. But I mean, you had upfront costs and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
sure, right.
so you take that into account. Um, the success itself is not the sales. The
Right.
success itself was just getting started,
Mhm.
and getting it going to begin with.
Right,
So
right.
whenever anybody asks me about 2024, starting the site, I'm incredibly, it was incredibly successful on there, and it has the momentum to, push itself for years to come. It's just, you got
Right.
to continue to put in the hard work, and you got to
Yep.
continue to, uh, get people's trust, on
Yep.
what you're doing, and take care of those people in the meantime. So,
Yeah, no, it's yeah, is somebody again who's been there. I, remember, I remember the first time I put my book out and I got like, 40, 50 people bought my book for the whole year. And I'm like, okay, well, it's like, and
yeah,
then you're like, okay, well, and then you go into year 2 and, and I always said that at the end of the day, while the money is nice, it's getting those emails from the people at the end of the year when they win their championship
yep,
and they thank you because they hadn't done that well in the past with whoever they used, whatever they used. And so I always said that kind of makes everything worth it,
hmm,
because then somebody is benefiting from the knowledge
yep,
and and winning a title, which we all know means a hell of a lot more than dollars and cents, right?
yeah.
It's all that pride factor that you can't put a price on. So yeah, again, going back to your doghousebb.com, you got seasonal, you got DFS media. What other things do you guys delve into?
Pretty much. So the site itself is a 365-day a year site.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it not only, after the draft into the summertime, when everybody's looking forward to, figuring out who is the best values, who is the potential bus for
Hmm.
seasonal. Um, you got that. You have DFS that comes up, week one, and you hit it hard and you hit it fast. Um, and over with us, it's you're looking at three different sites. You're looking at DraftKings, you're looking at FanDuel, and you're looking at Yahoo in terms of what's an actual value versus a perceived value that
Hmm.
you'll see a lot online. And then so we go all the way through the Super Bowl on that. We
Nice.
handling the full main slates and the showdown slates, yeah, into that type deal. As soon as that Super Bowl ends, it is officially the next season. It is
Right.
There's no stopping. So
Mhm.
off season, you're always going to have updated depth charts on there, all the movements that are going on. I like to keep track of that, all the way through, the NFL draft and beyond, and then including in that, taking a look at the incoming rookies, putting together a draft spreadsheet, which we like to take to each and every year's draft.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And dynasty, I assume, is a focus as well, just because again, that's kind of part of that scenario of a never-ending season.
it's been a newer focus. Like,
Okay.
I've always wanted to delve into dynasty football and stuff.
Mhm.
So what I what we're working on over there, it translates right into dynasty.
Oh, yeah,
So
right.
you just, if even if you didn't want to do it, you're doing it. So
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, value is value, and if he's a young player, then if you're in dynasty, if they're young enough. I mean, if it's, I always love just learning knowledge about everything. Right. It's
yeah,
just getting those nuggets of things of like, why does this person have a bounce back season or have a down season, or whatever the cases may be. Mine's focused on consistency just because that's what I've done,
hmm,
but everybody has their niche and their knowledge, and I just think that's what's great about our industry is sharing that information and hearing things from people and go, oh, didn't think about that. So and I think that's again what's cool about this industry. And of course, this industry is all coming together again this August 8th through the 10th in Canton, Ohio. You've been there a number of years as a fan.
yeah.
So before we get into the exhibitor side that you're going to be a part of, talk about, you've been there, you said 3-4 years now as a fan, but you were a little bit more than a fan because you're writing stuff and you were doing some things. But talk about that experience, maybe your first year, your expectations, how you felt after the first year, things that have changed for the good, the bad. You know, and I'm open to hear it because I'm always looking to make sure we improve to be the best we can be. But talk about that experience for you.
Yeah, so 21, 22, and 23. I hit it 3 years in a row. Like we oh the big thing last year was, Metallica was coming to Chicago. So otherwise I would have been there
Okay.
4 years in a row.
Yeah, gotcha.
But 21 was a unique experience. I went to that one by myself. So I drove from
Mm.
Wisconsin to Canton, not knowing what to expect. Just, the old double tree that everybody,
Right.
congregates at.
Hmm.
And it was just, you know, you didn't know what to expect. You didn't know how many people were going to
Right.
be there. And it
I
was just
barely
some,
knew, and
and
I
I
was
mean,
running it.
and I mean, I got there and I figured I was going to be early, and there was just a ton of people that were already there. They were there. I got in on a Friday. Everybody else, a lot of other people were there already on Thursday because they were
Right.
so excited for it. And it was like, man, am I behind? Am I really that late in, trying to meet all these people? So it's like, let me get checked in. Let me get these bags in here because I have to make up for lost time apparently.
Right.
So, um, but it was, great getting there. You sign it, you get checked in and whatnot, and then um, the Friday night party where
Mhm.
everybody goes down to the park down there with
Right. Centennial Plaza. Yeah.
big old TV, and of course the Packers are on. So I believe
Right.
it was Packers Browns, and I was
Yeah, I think it
like,
was. You're right.
I'm like, all right, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm comfortable
Good.
in
I got
here and stuff.
adult beverage and the Packers.
So, um, and then it's funny because that party, that's where I met my really good buddy Rich Miletto, who
Mm.
works over at Fantasy Guru,
Hmm.
and he actually lives in Eau Claire. And so from there, that's how we ended up hooking up, ride sharing
Right.
basically out each and every year.
Hmm.
But party was great, hanging out and you meet people from, within the industry. That was first time I met, quite a bit of people. But I'd also talk to people that I've known through the years because I go to every NFL draft. So
Mm-hmm.
Sirius XM used to go to those drafts, so I'd hang out, with those guys and stuff. So it was great, reconnecting with people there.
Right, right. Oh, that's cool.
But
That's cool. Well, so now this year you're coming as an exhibitor. You've got a booth. You're ready to go. Talk about since you've seen the booths and you kind of have an idea. What do you got planned for the Dawghouse Fantasy Football booth? Any cool stuff? Any giveaways? Haven't thought about it yet.
I have, unfortunately, as a business owner, I've
Mm,
thought plenty, good and hard.
right.
I mean, just the fact of deciding that, hey, this is a place that I need to be at. This is it,
Hmm.
if I want to grow the site,
Yeah.
I have to be at the expo. So basically, just showcase off what I have, what's in the site, all the
Hmm.
spreadsheets. You can look at everything, and even during the 2025 draft, a couple weeks, I'm going to open up the site for free and let everybody kind of look into
Nice.
that.
Very cool.
But there will be giveaways. I'm not going to give away what I have planned, but I have a really good idea. I think everybody's going to like it.
Awesome.
Um, get people interested in checking out the site and whatnot.
So right now, can they go? Can people go and just sign up to be like in a newsletter list? Is it Is there only subscribers only? How does the site work currently?
Currently, it's a subscriber only. Now
Okay.
there is a 7-day free trial on it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
The price tag that's on there is $99 for the full calendar year,
Okay.
365. Um, during the NFL draft, there's going to be that 2 week when I actually open up the site and let everybody kind of peek around, look, see
Hmm.
if they're interested.
Okay.
I will reintroduce a promo code on there to where it's going to be $50 for the whole year, and
Nice.
there's going to
Okay.
be another promo code for the expo that's going to be the same, and
Awesome.
that's going to be $50 per year for the life of the site.
Nice.
So
That's super cool. I like that. Yeah. All right, there you go, folks. Check it out. Get to the expo. You will be able to get that code for 50% off for life. You can't get much
yeah,
better than that. And this stuff's going to be good because Dennis is right, and he knows he's got the knowledge. We all know that. Jeff Mans knew that. Bob Harris knew that. So if those people are smart enough to realize it, you should be too. So Dennis, as we get close here to wrapping up, well, I shouldn't say any questions you have for me. You've been to this thing multiple times, but do you have any questions as an exhibitor that maybe you haven't thought about, or you just kind of came to your head like, oh, hey Bob, I got a question. If you don't, that's fine, but we can. Sorry to put you on the spot. I told you earlier, but
no, you kind of failed on it, but it's okay.
okay.
It's okay. um Now, I mean, pretty much I know how everything's been handled,
Mm-hmm.
and everything's been handled very professionally. I think the
Thank
way
you.
that you take care of this event has been top notch. I don't
Thank
think I've never talked to anybody that said, you know what, I hated being there. It was terrible.
you. Oh no,
That type of
yeah,
thing.
never
Everybody
know.
there
There's
might be
always
some
somebody.
underhanded people here or who may have lied,
All right.
but every time I've been there, everything's handled with such class, such
Thanks.
dignity with it. Especially over at the Hall of Fame for the Saturday night digs.
Mm-hmm.
And just going to the Hall of Fame itself, which it's an experience in itself every single year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then draft night out on Saturday, seeing the Kings and Queen Classics,
Mm-hmm.
everything. You do a hell of a job, and
Thank you, man.
I just
Appreciate it.
appreciate the opportunity to actually be there to, be an exhibitor. So
Yeah, no, we're excited to have you. We do have a few changes you may or may not saw on the site. So
right.
Saturday party and draft night out are going to be at the M Bar slash Jerseys. It's a restaurant up north. If you
Yep.
do the poker thing,
Yep. I know
you know
where
what
it's
I'm
at.
talking about. The stadium just got to be a point where the lack of food and drink choices were so bad that everybody complained about it. So we're moving it to a full restaurant, full bar with all kinds of craft beers and food choices and everything. So we're just, again, want to make it easier. And Draft Night Out is moving to the same place because it's time for Seth and DNO to expand. They're busting at the seams at the Brew Kettle. Again, love the place. Super, super nice place to have it. But I said to Seth, do you want to make it bigger? And he said, yes. And I said, all right, and then let's move it to the M-Bar / jerseys. Now he can have up to, go from 12 team or 12 leagues to 20 leagues if he wants. So, trying to, improve and expand for the future. And so those two things will be moving to that spot. So, the DoubleTree now isn't the perfect spot to be. Now it's actually better to be at the Holiday Inn across the street. But obviously, we all love the DoubleTree, and it's always our host hotel. But so some of the few changes you may or may not know about. So that's what's happening. So
it's going to be easier to hit the parking lot. I can tell you that over there.
That's it. Exactly. I love it. So, Dennis, once again, tell everybody where they can find you, Twitter, your site, Instagram, whatever you've got out there. And then we'll just, I'll hit the outro after that.
You can find me on pretty much any type of social media. On Twitter and Instagram, it's at RoyDawg. That's DAWG_13. TikTok, RoyDawg13, and then over on Facebook, Dennis M. Roy over there.
Perfect. And Dawghouse, DAWGHOUSEFF.com is the spot. That is Dennis Roy. I'm Bob Lung. Make sure you get your Fantasy Football Expo tickets. We will see you in August. Take care. God bless. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching. Lock in your 2025 football tickets now at thefantasyfootballexpo.com. Hit subscribe and check out one of these excellent @FF Expo videos next.